Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Canadian Start From Scratch series. So, in the last episode, I kind of made a realization that the land in Canada is really expensive, and it was a terrible place to start. So, I managed to find a farm for sale here in Ray County, Missouri, and they wanted $300,000 for it. So I took out a loan and I bought it. I did end up selling everything back in Canada. We have $100,000 just to buy equipment and get started. I do feel like this is a better, more interesting series than the Canadian Start From Scratch because that series was a bit boring to watch after I went back and watched my video. But anyways, I'm just going to show off some of the equipment that this farm came with. It didn't come with much, but it came with some equipment just for cattle. So let's start off with this snowblower here. So they'll probably use that on that tractor. This looks to be a 4000 diesel with a loader and a cab. That was probably their winter chore tractor, judging by the rust on the frame and everything. Looks like we've got a silage bale here also. I'm just gonna take the truck over by the house here and shut it off, so that way we don't have to listen to it run in the background. Over here it looks like we've got two grain bins, as well as a propane tank to dry apparently. I guess let's open up this shed. Ooh, that is nice. Alright, looks like we got a 986 with a foreign manure spreader, which is definitely not in the best condition, but I'm sure it'll still work with a little bit of grease and work. So let's close up this door here, and then I also kind of forgot to mention the house. It's just a simple older model. It's definitely outdated, as you can see in the windows, but it puts a roof over our heads, and that's all that really matters. So I guess over here we've got the top of a bank barn. We'll just peek in here, make sure there's nothing in here. Nope, this is completely empty. So I'm thinking maybe we could put hay in here for our cows. Hopefully we're gonna be getting cows. I guess we'll come down in here, which we have the unloading augers for these two stave silos, and then we have a John Deere 400 grinder mixer, as well as an International 56 blower. We'll come out here. Here's the other side of those stave silos. And we have a International chisel plow. That'll be useful. Here you can see our big ginormous cow pasture. That'll definitely hold a decent amount of cows. We have a John Deere 34 manure spreader, but since we have that bigger spreader up there in that shed, we probably won't need this. Looks like we got a little feed bin, a 258 New Holland hay rake, some silage bales, and then in here, this is where the cows would go on the bottom side of this bank barn. And then we have our hay ring, which is definitely a good setup down here, because if we want to, we can take all of our cows and herd them in from the pasture, close that gate, and then we can do our tagging or worming or whatever we need. Looks like we just got a basic alleyway set up here that comes out to the pasture, but it definitely will work pretty good. So I'm gonna think our first order of business here is just to set everything up for cows. So we'll jump over that gate there. There is an equipment dealer in town that has a good bit of machinery. So I think let's run down there and check on everything and see what's going on down there. Maybe we'll get some equipment for our cattle. I think we're definitely gonna need another small tractor in the future, but for now our tractor should get us by. In terms of the cattle, I think we're going to need a TMR mixer, but since that John Deere 4020 has a loader, I think we can just feed the cows with that and those silage bales. So besides that, we're going to need a cattle trailer. I did look online in the dealership, and they do have one small cattle trailer, but it's definitely pretty tiny. You could probably only fit a few cows in there, but it'll probably get us by if we can get down there and buy it. Anyways, I'm gonna see you guys at the equipment dealer. Alright guys, we're just rolling up to the equipment dealer. So we'll pull up in the driveway. And let's see here. So I guess we just take a right here. And then I guess let's look through the equipment. So there's silage wagon. Excuse the lag here. This is a lot of equipment all in one place. 3010 diesel. A Kinsey planter. 1206 Farmall. A Max silage truck. A Farm King hay rake. A Case seed drill. An Alice D21. An International 856. A silage wagon. And then we'll come up here. A Pentahagedorn manure spreader. Is that another 3010? That seems to be another 3010. An Agco white utility tractor. Well, not utility tractor, but medium-sized tractor. A New Holland grinder mixer. Looks like we've got a Case Steiger. Oh, there's that little cattle trailer I was talking about. Let's hop out and look at this. Tires look good. My guess would be you could squeeze 2 cattle in there. So I think we are gonna end up buying that, but let's keep looking just to make sure they don't have anything else. Gravity wagon. Or, no, grain cart, then gravity wagon. Feed truck, a Case Magnum, a 1066 Hydro. Hay rake, a 4440, that's nice. 7810. Bale wagon, and then there's that 3010 again. There's a Kuhn Night manure spreader, and a little Cub Cadet 70. I think we might end up buying this just for a mower because our grass is very overgrown. Looks like we've got a Case 9240 with the headers, and then we'll just swing into this row. This is definitely a pretty tight dealership. We've got a Kuhn baler and a Kuhn straw blower. And then there's a 3020 diesel. I do like that. I might end up buying this just as a little chore tractor for spreading manure and feeding cows in the winter. So, horse trailer. I wish we could use that for cows. Chopper with the heads. We might end up buying that as well, because we have a field of corn that came with our property. So we'll probably end up buying this. And then a mixer. We might need that in the future, just not right now. A notch bale trailer. A Heston swather. Another gravity wagon. John Deere 7000 planter. Let's get out and take a look at this. Looks like it's a pretty solid planter. We've got the liquid fertilizer tanks. Yeah, we might need that in the future just to get our corn in. We have a New Holland 575 square baler. There's one of those grass care machines that rolls in seeds. Looks like a 4240, followed by a silage box and an Anderson swather. See if we can't get squeezed right up through here. Yep. Gooseneck trailer, Looks like we've got a Noon slurry spreader, John Deere square baler, New Holland 258. There's an auger, a lime green Steiger. Ooh, here's a gleaner. We do have that field of beans that's right beside our house. This could be useful. Let's just take a look around this thing. Yep, definitely we'll consider that. 4040. That is a nice little tractor. Yeah, that would be a nice little tour tractor. Looks like we got rear 3-point PTO. We'll have to consider that. Looks like we've got a big cattle trailer. That's definitely going to be out of our price range. A wheel loader, a dump trailer, a grain cart, an Elmer's straw blower, and then we're back to this Case combine. So that's basically everything. I'm gonna go inside and get some deals arranged, and I'll tell you guys what we end up with. See you then. Alright guys, the dealership is now $65,000 richer and I'm $65,000 poorer. So I ended up buying the chopper box, the Cub Cadet 70, the John Deere 7000 planter, the cattle trailer I was talking about, and I ended up buying this 3020 diesel with narrow front. It just looked like too good of a tractor to resist. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting most of this stuff home and I'll see you then. Alright guys, I just got here at the animal dealer and I just purchased two Black Angus, they're half-year-olds. I think they're gonna make great beef cows. I will probably get a few more cows in the future, probably 10 total, and then I'll wait and then I'll breed them and on and on and on, just as a money maker. But these guys definitely have plenty of room on this trailer. I was worried that they were going to be squeezed together. I don't know if you would want to do two full-size cows like this, but two half-year-olds definitely does work good in here. So let's hop back up on the tractor, hold that ramp up, and off we go. Alright guys, we're getting back to the farm. I figured I'd mention the reason I am using the 3020 instead of my truck on this cattle trailer is there's a glitch on the hitch of that international truck and it's not letting me hook anything to it. So hopefully we can get that worked out. So let's just take these cows down to the livestock pen and then we'll get them unloaded. So let's get off and open these gates. Then we'll just take them right in here. Get that back tailgate going down. Then we'll let them off. And then they're somewhere out in the pasture probably. It is a very large pasture, so I'm not going to go out there and find them. But this setup definitely works for transporting these cattle. Let's just get this gate closed up here. And then we'll take the 3020 out to the three-sided shed, or the shop, either one of them. And we'll get this cattle trailer at home. Next episode, I do plan on buying more cattle. It's just right now, I do not have the time to transport 30 loads with this thing. So we'll just back right in there, drop that down, and then we're gonna take this 3020 and we'll park it in this shed. with the planter and the 986. Shut it down. And I'm going to run over and grab the 4020 and feed the cows a silage bale. So we'll just hop up in the 4020. Turn it on. Let's get that loader up a little bit so we're not rubbing it on the ground. We'll leave that bale that's in the shed there for the winter. So let's go down here. Then we'll go ahead and open the scrapple. We'll just grab one of these little bales down in here. Lift that thing up. We'll come up and grab this gate here. Bring this in, and let's give it to our cows. So just drop that there. Alright, I just got this bale lifted up into the feeder. And then back out here. Close these gates up. I will come down in a minute here and get that bale unwrapped for the cows so they don't eat the plastic. Which would be a very unfortunate fate for my 2 brand new cows. So we'll just come up through here, past our grinder mixer, and then I'm going to put this in the shop. So we'll just come over here, and I'll just kind of put it in front of this planter here. So we'll just lower that down, shut it off, and that's basically everything I had on the agenda for today. Hopefully next episode I can get my chopper out, and there's a cornfield down there that this farm came with. It's not that big, but it'll definitely help us with these new cows, getting them fed. So I'll get those chopped and then we'll put them up into the stave silo here. But anyways, that's basically going to be it for this episode. I don't have anything else I can really do or anything else that needs done as of now. So anyways, that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. This is Longhorn Gamer, out.